Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create nested routes in React using React Router. So nested route is a way in which we can group parts into segments, parts that are actually related, and this is commonly seen in dashboard, such as when you have dashboard parts and then you have dashboard slash profile, and there's a common layout amongst them. So that's what we are going to be basically looking at, and we are going to be building it together. So the first thing we are going to do is to go to our React Todoist. So for just for this example, you can do the same in your project as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just create a new folder, and then I'm going to call it dashboard. And now that I have the dashboard, let's say for instance now we have a dashboard layout, and this dashboard layout is going to be used on every dashboard page. So let's go ahead and create the dashboard layout. So on the dashboard layout now, I can now bring out my boilerplate, and then I could just let's have this. And what we can now do is to actually see this on our browser, because we want to be able to do dashboard. And then we should be able to see our dashboard and the layout. And when we visit any other part like profile, we should be able to see that same layout, but with a different component. So that's what we will have at the end of this video. So now what we need to do is to basically go to the app.js where we declared our routes. So what we want to do here is to declare a new route, and the path is going to be slash dashboard, and on this part we are going to render a component, and the component is dashboard layout. So this is not going to be a self-closing tag. That's the difference between nested routes and just single routes. So nested route is going to be a opening and closing tags, and then we are going to define every other routes and components within it. So now that we have this dashboard, we could just save it for now, ensure that it has a closing tag and not a self-closing tag. So if we head over to dashboard slash dashboard, now we are going to see our dashboard layout. So how this is going to work is we are going to have a consistent layout for the dashboard, and then we are going to render a part of the dashboard layout is going to be determined by where we want to render it. So it's just like the children prop that we are familiar with, where components can have children. For instance, now for this to have an opening and closing tags, and then we say we are going to pass other routes here. So which means like this is going to be the children of this particular component. So route is also a component, and then we can access the children. So that's basically what is going to happen here. So what we can do now is we can go to dashboard layout. So for us to be able to access any other route that has been declared here, we are going to make use of a component known as applet. So applet serves the same purpose as children, but in React Router we make use of applet. So it's just the same thing as applet, where we can pass another component as a child to a component, and then we have access to it as children. So that's the same thing we are going to do here. But let's style our layout a little bit. So we could have our header, and then we can have a section that will have our side, So this is going to be our nav bar. So we are going to have links here, and then we are going to have the athlete here. So this athlete is the children, and so the main purpose here is just like header is common amongst every dashboard page, and then the sidebar is also common. So the only thing that is going to be dynamic here is just the athlete, and then we are importing it from React Router DOM. So what we want to do next now is let's check what we have. So we have our links here. The header is not visible. See, okay, we have head, should be header, not head. So when we refresh, we see it here. And now we could, let's see if we could just style it. Let's style it a little bit. BG black text white, so we can see, so that we can see the white on black. And next we could see what we have here. We can just have a padding, say padding of 4. That's fine. We could then style this a little bit. Let's say padding of 5. And for the athlete, we want it to let's say we have 3. Say we have children, so we want it to be side by side and not under the links. So what we could do here is we could flex it. For now, we could do flex, and we could just wrap this in a section, and then we can do padding 5 so that they are going to align properly. And for this aside, so that we can know where the sidebar ends, we could just do border right, and we could do border slate 400, or let's say 700. Okay, I think 400 will be fine. Okay, 400 is fine. So we want the border to run from to span the whole screen, so we could just do a minimum of screen, minimum height of screen like this. So that's fine. And maybe you could just do border black here. Okay, let's do border black. So that's what we are going to achieve. So now this is just a placeholder. We could turn it off and then bring our athlete. So now we have like a basic layout, dashboard layout that we can work with. So the next thing we need to do now is to make this dynamic, so that when we visit /profile, we will be able to see the layout, and then we'll see the component that we pass to the profile page. So what we can now do here is we can come here and declare a route. So we will declare a route for the profile page, but before then we need to create the profile dashboard. So we can come here and do profile.jsx, and similarly we bring out our boilerplate and just have something basic like this. We're not going to design much here. So next we can now come here and do route and specify the path. So over here now, we are not going to use the back slash, we are just going to specify profile. So what this means is like React Router is going to follow the pattern that is here, the path that we have here, which is /dashboard, and then we are going to have the profile follow it, which is basically something like /dashboard/profile. So we are just going to have profile here without the backslash, and then we can specify the element that we want, which is like the profile. So this is basically all we need to do. for nested routing. So let me give you a recap here. So basically, we want to have a dashboard route, and on the dashboard route, we want to have something like slash profile, similar to what we did here, but we want to maintain a consistent layout um, in the routes on the dashboard. So that's why we make this an opening and closing tags, and then we specify the routes and components that we want to render within this layout. And then we are going to get each of these components that matches the path. We are going to render them in the applet. So React Router DOM is going to handle that for us. So it's just similar to the children component that we've learned from initially when we are learning React. So this now, just make it a component. So let's see what we have. So if we visit slash profile now, yeah, good. So we can see our profile here. You can see the profile here. So we can do the same thing for let's say we have settings, should be in the dashboard. Let's say we have settings.jsx React arrow function settings. We can come here, make a duplicate of this, and then change it to settings, and then render the components settings. So if you go to slash settings, we are going to have settings here. So now what should happen when we visit dashboard? We can see nothing is being rendered. We are just having a blank space here. So what should happen when we visit dashboard? Because the dashboard is in index route. So what should we render for the index route? So to handle this, what we need to do is to we can approach this in two ways. So the first thing is for us to create the component that we want to render when a user visits slash dashboard. So we can come here and do, we can either call it index.jsx, or we call it dashboard itself, dashboard index, we call it dashboard index.jsx, that's fine. So we have arrow function, and then we have dashboard index. So one way to go about this is we could come here and create a new route, path slash dashboard. It should be equals to, and specify the element to be dashboard index. This is going to be rendered as a component tag, and then we can hit save. So this is one way to go about it. Just specify the path and then the elements, and when we visit the dashboard slash dashboard, we can see the dashboard index here. So from here now, when we go to profile, we can see dashboard slash profile. We can see our profile. When we go to settings, we should be able to see the settings, and then when we go back to dashboard, we should see the dashboard index. So this is just how we can go about it, one way for the index. So another way is just to pass a prop here which says index. So instead of specifying the path twice like this, we wrote dashboard here and then saying, okay, this is the index, so display this layout and then this page when the user visits this. So because these two matches, is going to display render the dashboard layout and then the dashboard index at the same time. But we could just pass in index here. So once we pass in index, it's just going to function the same way as well. We go to profile, and then we could come back to dashboard, and then we'll still have it here. So that's that. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is how you guys can just link it, just making use of link. We've already discussed that in the to do. we make use of the link component to navigate from one page to another. So, and then we could do that here as well. So over here now, we could have a bunch of link components. Let's say, for instance, we could have dashboard, and then we could have profile, and then we could have settings. So on the dashboard now, we could do to slash dashboard, and here we could do to profile without the slash, and we could do to settings over here. So when we head to our page now, okay, let's style it a little bit. Yeah, we could just do flex colon, and then we should be good. So just have a gap of 2. So we can now go to profile, we can go to settings, we can go back to dashboard, we can go to settings, profile, settings, dashboard. So you can see the navigation is working. So this is how to perform nested routing in React. So we are basically on the same layout, the dashboard layout, but we are only changing this component. We are only changing this part of the component, making use of nested routing. Nested routing here, you can see they are nested, and then we are making use of the outlet component, which is like similar to the children, prop that we learned initially in React. So that is basically how nested routing works. So you can implement this easily on your projects, on your to-do list application, and let me know if you have any questions.